fortune to be born into Mecca's powerful tribe, the Quraysh. But his father died before he was born, and his mother died when he was only 6. His uncle, Abu Talib, was left to raise the young orphan.
You could not exist without your tribe. An individual in this dangerous world had absolutely no chance of survival. And that meant that the tribe had become perhaps the most sacred value in Arabia.
It's a society that's based on the idea of vigilantism, that if somebody attacked my clan, then I have a right to go and attack anyone from his clan. They saw justice as taking revenge.
He surely had to have worried about his future, what will he be? And so he must have been a very introspective child. Muhammad had the habit of going out in the desert and contemplating the stars and thinking about why he was an orphan and how would life be to him in the future.
Orphans were marginal people, and he felt very, very strongly identified with the poor and disadvantaged for the rest of his life.
The Mecca of Muhammad's youth was both a religious and a commercial center, located at the crossroads of 2 major trading routes. Soon, Muhammad began acting as an agent for wealthy merchants, taking their goods on caravans throughout Arabia. These journeys exposed him to a variety of other tribes and communities and a range of new ideas.
He probably learned the differences that exist between different tribes, people speaking different languages. He encountered Christians and Jews and learned from them what their faith, what their religion, what their cultures are.
كان يعيش الرسول على الجمال، وكانت هي الوحيدة الذي يتنقل عليها البدو والأجمال والإسلام، وإحنا على هذه نعيش ونتحمل الصبر إن الصبر كويس، ونصبر على الماء على الظما والأكل والجوع. ولكن هذا يعاني فيها الرسول، وكانت الجيش لأجل الإسلام لنصبر هذا الصبر.
But the problem is, how do we know this was what it was like? How can we separate what really happened from the hearsay and the myths?
Do we know, did the Prophet Muhammad come here? Who know?
Yes, وعندما كان خرج من مكة إلى مناطق الشام وجاء على منطقة فجلس في شجرة في الصفاوي.
Was there a tree? Was Muhammad even a travelling merchant? The evidence is almost non-existent. The earliest biographies we have were written nearly 200 years after Muhammad's lifetime.
In most religions, the tradition was handed down through oral history for millennia. This is put aside. That was called positive history. The oral tradition is completely negated.
Well, oral tradition means that you remember what you want. Some of it must be history, and most of it is clearly not history. It's just that they have been reshaped, rethought. They have been taken out of their original context, serving new functions. They've been cleaned up by all kinds, or cleaned up or messed up, if you like, by all kinds of interests that people have in the memory.
If supposing there is no written text of the time of the Prophet mentioning his name, the same is true of Christ. The same is true of Moses. That doesn't mean anything because there's always the oral tradition.
تركوا كل الدنيا، ما فكروا في التجارة، ما فكروا في الحياة، ما فكروا في أبناء. فكانوا يفكروا إني أقتتل أو أن أموت في نص الطريق أو أموت ضيعة أو جوعا أو شيء. لا كانوا يفكروا في هذا، لا في نجاح الإسلام.
Yet after 10 years in the first half of the 7th century. They deprived the Roman Empire of her richest provinces, crushed the Persian Empire, and taken possession of most of the Middle East. A staggering achievement. For most Muslims, a miracle. Only God could have made it happen.
Bedouin Arabs, they're at the margin of history during the Roman Empire. That through such a people, the whole of North Africa and Spain should be transformed in just a few decades, and a whole new civilization created within a century from China to France. And this is a historical fact.
And it all began, the story goes, when a merchant named Muhammad in a mountain cave heard something as terrifying as it was awesome, the voice of an angel. O Muhammad, thou art the apostle of God. God had spoken to the Arabs.
Allahu Akbar.
当时的社会状况对穆罕默德的精神感悟呢起了很重要的作用。阿拉伯半岛上有着浓厚的这种宗教氛围，多神教、偶像崇拜盛行。那么在这样一种氛围下，人们容易呢思考这个天地神人这种关系，崇拜月亮、星星、水源、祖先